Okay, today we're going to take off to the south. I'm going to work on keeping the plane on the tarmac for as long as possible. I'm trying to ease on that elevator now. And we're up. What I'm going to do now is get into a nice level climb. I expect to climb for maybe the next minute or so. So in order to climb without using too much power, I'm keeping a shallow angle, keeping the wings relatively level, and just keeping that nose 5 to 10 degrees above the horizon, and doing large sweeping turns. This allows me more wind to stay under the wings, making the most use of that. About the ceiling I want to fly to. So I'm going to just do a steep turn, turning into a bit of a dive, leveling out into a left aileron roll, pulling up, left rudder input, and that's a stop turn. Bit of a spin there, and look how quickly we drop that altitude. Might use this speed from the descent into a relatively nice pass over the tarmac with a low left bank past the express runway. So I'm working on my scale flying at the moment, so I'm going to pull up into a very slow loop. So keeping that throttle on. Waver at the top there, but all in all, slow loop into a slow roll. Very nice scale flying, really enjoying this plane in these perfect conditions. Zero wind. The next maneuver is going to be another stall turn. So the trick is to ease into a vertical position. Watch that cloud left rudder, reduce the throttle, bring the nose straight down. So I'm going to try again out of this scoop. There's that cloud left rudder input. See, I might have reduced the throttle too early to make use of that left rudder input, and it wasn't a very clean stall turn. This is the T-28 Trojan, mission to land from the north, currently on downwind. T-28 Trojan turning off the base for the south end runway. T-28 Trojan turning on the final for a touch and go towards the south. Trying to hold that nose up. Okay, I'm going to make good use of this approach now and go for a low pass from the north and a relatively shallow bank angle climbing up away from the deck. This is a great flying experience this afternoon. on the day before the winter solstice, so the sun is very, very low. T-28 Trojan coming in from the south for north end landing, potentially a touch and go. I'm not lined up well, so I've hit the grass, therefore I've lost all my momentum. T-28 Trojan on the tarmac, taxiing down to the north end. T-28 Trojan, permission to take off towards the south. Okay, so full power, trying to keep that nose straight, and we're up a lot quicker than I expected this time. Okay, we're going to continue to climb now. I'm going to make most use of the flight time and try to get some altitude now, so we have the chance to do a gliding descent. I think that it's always important to manage your power when you're trying to achieve long flight times like this at the 10-minute mark. So as I climb up, I'm only using about 3/4 throttle. There's no reason to punch full throttle. You want to be able to gain altitude with the wing, not brute force and brute power, because otherwise you'll drain your power supply much quicker. Okay, so I've reduced the throttle now and I'm committing to a long descent. So I'll be quiet for a second so we can listen to the wind in the open canopy. Similar to the climb, it's a very shallow angle. Wanting to really glide stretch in this example, I'm trying to dip the nose when I'm turning just to get a little bit more airspeed, but ultimately I'm trying to hold that nose up and be forgiving with the nose and let it dip when I feel like I need to. I'm keeping it approach now, so I'm pretty much on downwind, so I'm going to simulate a full emergency. So I need to keep that nose down to get that last final bit of speed, and keep a high nose now to slow the plane down. And we've touched down beautifully from a long gliding descent. I've moved the battery back about 20 or 30 mil to give a slight more tail heavy plane, because I want to smooth the takeoff like that. See, that takeoff angle was reduced significantly. It was the same elevator input, but having less nose heavy plane means that I'm not trying to lift that nose. Instead, I'm just teetering off those main wheels. So I've now marked this as the new battery position. But whenever you change a battery position in an RC model, it's really important to go back up and do sort of your exploratory flight. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do the same amount of gliding, a little bit of aerobatics and a couple of landing approaches to see the difference. So here's the glide. I would expect a better glide rate. But you can see here the nose is actually a lot further down than I'd expect, and this could be because I need to retrim the aircraft as well. So since I changed that battery, I need to retrim. That front dash though is definitely holding closer to the height of the horizon, or the level of the horizon, but I do notice that I am sinking. It was definitely a nicer takeoff, but I'm not sure if this battery position is foolproof, but we'll find out. Okay, it's now time to test that landing approach. I've now dialed in the plane with the trim for the new battery position. Heading downwind, so T-28 downwind for the north end runway. T-28 Trojan turning up the base for the north end runway, touch and go. T-28 Trojan up the final for touch and go towards the north. Ooh, I lifted back off in ground effect there momentarily. That's not good. So you want to keep the plane on the ground until you are up to takeoff speed. In that case, it sort of floated back up a little bit prematurely. T-28 Trojan coming in for a complete stop to the north.